Priatelia, vítajte pri ďalšom dieli volant.tv štúdia. Dnes to ale bude veľmi špeciálny diel, hlavne kvôli hosťovi. No potom jednak kvôli tomu, ako som oblečený, pretože toto je súčasť jedného eventu, ktorý vám ukážem v samostatnom videu. No ale hlavne máme veľmi limitovaný čas na tento rozhovor, ale ja pevne dúfam, že sa vám bude páčiť. Takže prosím pekne, privítajme Roberta Kubicu, jazdca F1. Nech sa páči.
Kvalitná 5V 30. Tá cena a ten výber. Pre moju lásku len to najlepšie. Tu mám vždy garanciu originálnych produktov. Dopraj aj ty svojej mašine len to najlepšie. Filtre a oleje.sk.
Je tam, že recording?
Áno.
Yeah, okay. For the cameraman, yeah.
Yes.
So Robert, thank you very much for joining me on this casting couch. The very first question, because we deal with different modern and classic cars, what car do you drive as a privateer in your life?
You start from very difficult question. I drive lately Audis.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Actually, it's a bit complicated story because, or not complicated, it's very simple. I'm driving since year 2001 when I did the driving license. This was the last year in Poland you could do the driving license when you are already 17. So actually I have driving license since when I'm 17. But I don't own many cars.
Yeah.
Because always, you drive for a company, so you have a company car and stuff like this. But my first car which I bought was a rally car.
A rally car?
Yeah, Mitsubishi Evo 6.
Oh, that's a great one.
In 2005.
Yeah. So you are enjoying still the cars in your private life as a racing cars?
I enjoy. I like nice cars.
Yeah.
But I use a road car as a vehicle to bring me from point A to point B. But of course I like nice cars. And what I notice, depending on probably it's becoming because of the age, I'm changing what I like.
Yeah, so not sports cars, but something comfortable?
I'm a big fan of diesels in the past. I'm probably going against already when I was young. The reason why, because I was traveling a lot, Poland, Europe, and I have to optimize my driving strategy, and so I could do more kilometers. But part of this, of course, I grew up with karting, with the engines were having 20,000 revs, sound.
Yeah, so something quiet.
So normally I have. For let's say nearly every week I'm on the racetrack, so I like comfortable. But on the other side, I also like something which sounds nice. And what is nice from automotive, let's say, world, that is offers everything.
For everybody.
Yeah, for everybody. You can cover whatever you like.
And from the present, do you think there is another Robert Kubica in Poland currently?
Difficult. To be honest with you, there were many. Let's say since I started Formula 1, I hear many people saying about the very young drivers. I think what is fact is that in Poland we do have some young drivers which, if they continue working well, and if they go in the right direction, they might become professional race drivers. The reason I say professional race drivers, because to join Formula 1, it's really hard. You have to be lucky. You have to be extremely talented. But I know many drivers, and probably even few of them, which I was sure they will become F1 drivers. They didn't even have a chance to test F1 car. So it's difficult to say yes, no. But what is important and what is positive, in Formula 1, generally karting has changed a lot. There is, when I started in '98 racing in Italy, I was not the only one, but sporadically sometimes there were some other drivers coming. Some years before there were also some drivers coming, but nobody was doing full season. And now there is many karting drivers, young Polish drivers, that they are doing full season, so they can learn, they can teach, and they can become better and better. But when you are 14, You have to focus on trying to become better. And I think this is often first mistake now we do. I say we because in the end is a modern generation that when you are 13 you think you will become a F1 driver. To be honest, it is a long way. It is very tough. So, but I hope we will have some from this group of young talented drivers, some drivers who will bring Polish flag up to podiums of international races, and they are already doing it. We have a couple of Formula 4 drivers, so nearly same car as you are testing today, not exactly the same, which they are doing very well. So let's keep cross fingers and let's see.
Okay, and back to the beginnings of your career, do you think it would be easier or different if you are not coming from Poland, let's say, if you were coming from a different country, from the Western Europe?
When I started in early 90s with karting, and then 95 was my first season in Polish Championship, and 98 first season outside of Poland, there was big gap between what we as a country had, not only from karting, but generally. I think this gap is coming closer and nearly not existing anymore. So probably it would be different, for sure it would be different. I remember when I was saying that I drive karting, I'm karting driver, most of the people didn't know. There was a period where, indoor karting, rental cars were coming to Poland, and people were associating rental cars to what I'm driving, which is completely different. So as I said, the thing has changed over this 20 years. In Poland, there is much more knowledge about motorsport. There is more, I think, possibilities being from Poland now than 20 years ago, because the fact is, my first really approach with motorsport in Poland, it was very exotic, and in the end, whoever I was going in the school, and kids who didn't know what I'm talking about, and I was super lucky, I feel as a super lucky guy that had opportunity, but in the end it was not common. Now it's more frequent, it's more available, but still motorsport is very expensive. So I think coming back to your question, because I try to think loudly, I never really, for sure it will be different in difficult days, or it will be easier to find support, but in the end, I'm proud to be Polish. I'm proud that I brought Poland to the map of Formula 1 and to the paddock, and I think in the end, although I shouldn't say I'm not really responsible of it, but I think because I joined Formula 1, I arrived to Formula 1, the young generation have easier life now. So not directly, but because of my person, I think Poland knows that Formula 1 can offer a lot. Formula 1 is a top sport, but there are also other sports, other categories in motorsport, and also now I'm racing in endurance. Of course, Formula 1 attracts much more. It's the top of motorsport.
The queen.
Yeah. But as I say, it's completely different. I was shocked last year on one event in Italy, on karting event. A cup, karting cup race, which is national races, and there is a final. And Poland was the second country with the amount of drivers from all around the world. So this shows that the things has changed. I was the only one. When I was racing in karting, if I have to talk with someone, I couldn't use Polish. Now there is much more drivers and much more opportunities.
Coming back to your career, what is the top moment you think it's the highest? Being a F1 or?
No, I think to be honest, when every time when I'm asked something like this, I come back to my karting days. And I don't know the why. You will say, probably you will think F1 race win in Canada. Yes, it's a big highlight, but I think the the emotions and you know, and because when you are kid, you take everything like very light and you enjoy, but it's a pure passion and pure joy. I think my biggest highlight of my career was, probably the one which then I understood I was good, or good. I don't know if I'm good, but I was not as bad as I thought. Was when I won in '98 Italian Championship in karting, and I was the first not Italian driver to win it. And in Italy at that period, the Italian Championship was the strongest, by far strongest championship around the world.
Maybe the last question, I don't know if you want to answer, but is it true that you were already with one foot in Ferrari?
Well, I cannot say I was with one foot in Ferrari, but I had contract, yes.
So you had it.
Yes.
So
I'm wearing red as well.
yeah, but it's Alfa Romeo, it's connected.
Yeah. It's not the same, but let's say.
Okay, Robert, thank you very
Thank you.
much for your time. Ďakujem veľmi pekne, že ste dopozerali toto až video až sem. Mali sme veľmi limitovaný čas, no ale som rád, že teda sme si ho našli. A Robert, ešte raz veľmi pekne ďakujem.
Dziękuję.
Ahojte. You can say hello.
Bye. Hello.